A police officer pulled over a black man driving through a wealthy neighborhood. Within 2 minutes, the officer had him in handcuffs, face down on the ground. "You don't belong here," the officer said. "We know your type, probably stole this car." What that officer didn't know, the man he just arrested was Marcus Williams, director of the FBI, the second most powerful law enforcement official in America. And the car he was driving, it was registered to the FBI. In the next 20 minutes, that officer went from confident to terrified, because Marcus didn't just get him fired. He launched an investigation that exposed a pattern of racism in that entire police department. This story will show you why assumptions based on race are not just wrong, they're career-ending. Before we dive into this powerful story, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss more stories about justice and people who abuse power getting exactly what they deserve. Now let's see what happened. Marcus Williams was 48 years old. He grew up in South Chicago, in a neighborhood where police stops were common and often unfair. Marcus remembered being 16 years old, walking home from basketball practice when officers stopped him for looking suspicious. He was just wearing his team jersey. That experience stayed with him. Instead of letting it make him bitter, Marcus decided to change the system from inside. He joined the FBI at 25, worked his way up through dedication and brilliant investigative work. And at 48, he became the director of the FBI, one of the highest law enforcement positions in the country. Marcus never forgot where he came from. He drove his own car, lived in a regular house, and often traveled without security when off-duty. He believed in being a regular person, not hiding behind his title. Today, that belief would be tested. Derek Hansen was 38 years old. He'd been with the Riverside Police Department for 12 years. On paper, he had a clean record. But his fellow officers knew the truth. Derek had a problem with black people. He pulled over black drivers 5 times more often than white drivers. He wrote tickets for suspicious behavior that often meant nothing more than being black in a nice neighborhood. Other officers had complained to the department, but Derek's uncle was the deputy chief. Complaints mysteriously disappeared. Derek believed he was protecting his community. In his mind, black people in wealthy neighborhoods were automatically suspicious. He never questioned his own racism because he'd never faced consequences for it. It was 7 p.m. on a Thursday evening. Marcus was driving home from a community meeting in Riverside, an affluent suburb. He'd been invited to speak to high school students about careers in law enforcement. Marcus wore casual clothes, jeans, and a polo shirt. His FBI badge and identification were in his wallet in the glove compartment. His car was a black Chevy Suburban, an unmarked FBI vehicle. It looked like a regular SUV. No lights, no obvious government markings, just a nice car in a nice neighborhood. Derek Hansen was parked on Oak Street running speed checks. When he saw Marcus drive by, something in Derek's mind clicked. Black man, expensive car, this neighborhood, doesn't fit. Derek pulled out and hit his lights. Marcus, seeing the police car behind him, pulled over immediately and put his hands on the steering wheel where they could be seen. He knew the routine. He taught it to thousands of FBI agents. Comply, stay calm, de-escalate. But Derek wasn't interested in de-escalation. Derek approached the driver's side window, his hand on his gun. Marcus kept his hands visible on the steering wheel. "License and registration," Derek said, not bothering with pleasantries. "Officer, my license is in my wallet in the glove compartment." "I'm going to reach for it slowly," Marcus said calmly. "Keep your hands where I can see them," Derek snapped. "Step out of the vehicle." Marcus stayed calm. "May I ask why you pulled me over?" "I wasn't speeding." "Step out of the vehicle now," Derek ordered, his voice rising. Marcus complied. He opened the door slowly and stepped out, keeping his hands visible. He was 6'2" and athletic. Derek immediately tensed. "Turn around, hands on the vehicle," Derek commanded. "Officer, I haven't done anything wrong. Can you tell me why?" "I said turn around." Derek grabbed Marcus's arm roughly and spun him toward the car, then kicked his legs apart. "You're in a stolen vehicle. We've had reports of car thefts in this area." "This car isn't stolen," Marcus said, still calm but firm. "If you run the plates—" "Don't tell me how to do my job," Derek interrupted. Derek radioed for backup. "I've got a suspicious black male, possibly in a stolen vehicle, Oak Street." Within 3 minutes, 2 more officers arrived. One of them, Officer Sarah Chen, immediately looked uncomfortable. She recognized something was off about this stop. Derek pulled out his handcuffs. "Put your hands behind your back." "Officer, you have no cause to arrest me," Marcus said, his voice still level but harder now. "I've committed no crime." I've complied with every instruction. This is an illegal detainment. You're being detained for investigation of a stolen vehicle and suspicious behavior, Derek said, snapping the handcuffs on Marcus's wrists, too tight, deliberately painful. What suspicious behavior? Marcus asked. Driving while black? Don't get smart with me. Derek pushed Marcus down to his knees, then forced him face down on the pavement. A few neighbors had come out watching. Some filmed on their phones. Officer Chen stepped forward. Hanson, this seems excessive. He's complying. Maybe we should just stay out of this, Chen, Derek snapped. I know what I'm doing. Marcus, face down on the ground, hands cuffed painfully behind his back, made a decision. He'd given Derek every chance to de-escalate. Now it was time. Officer Hanson, Marcus said, his voice calm but carrying authority. I'm going to tell you something, and I suggest you listen carefully. My name is Marcus Williams. I am the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. My badge and federal identification are in my wallet in the glove compartment of my vehicle. That vehicle is registered to the FBI. You can verify this by running the plates. Derek laughed, actually laughed. Sure you are, and I'm the president. You people always have some story. You people, Marcus repeated. Officer Chen, please check my identification. It's in the glove compartment? Sarah Chen looked at Derek, who shook his head, but something in Marcus's voice made her pause. She walked to the SUV and opened the glove compartment. Inside was a wallet. She opened it carefully. Her face went white. Hanson, she said quietly, you need to see this. I'm busy, Derek said, keeping his knee on Marcus's back. Hansen, Sarah said louder, walking over with the wallet open. Look at this, now. Derek finally looked. The badge was unmistakable, FBI Director. The ID card had Marcus's photo and title clearly visible. Derek's face went from confident to confused to pale white in about 3 seconds. That's fake, he stammered. It has to be fake. Call FBI headquarters, Marcus said, still on the ground. The number is on the card. Ask for Assistant Director Jennifer Morrison. Tell her you have Director Williams in custody. See what she says. Sarah was already on her radio. Dispatch, I need you to contact FBI headquarters immediately. We may have a situation here. Within 5 minutes, Sarah's radio exploded with activity. The dispatcher came back, her voice urgent. Officer Chen, I have the FBI on the line. They're asking for your location and the status of Director Williams. They're also asking who detained him and why. Derek's hands were shaking as he finally took the handcuffs off Marcus. Sir, there's been a misunderstanding. Marcus stood up slowly, rubbing his wrists where the cuffs had cut into his skin. His face was calm, but his eyes were ice cold. A misunderstanding, Marcus said quietly. You pulled me over without cause. You refused to tell me why. You arrested me without probable cause. You put me face down on the ground. And when I told you who I was, you laughed and called my identification fake. By now, a crowd had gathered. Phones were recording everything. Marcus turned to Officer Chen. Officer Chen, I want you to know that I observed your discomfort with this stop. I watched you try to de-escalate. That will be noted in my report. He turned to Derek. Officer Hanson, I need your badge number and your supervisor's contact information. Sir, please, I didn't know, Derek started. Marcus cut him off. You didn't know I was FBI Director, that's true. But you knew I was a human being who deserved respect and fair treatment under the law. You denied me that because of the color of my skin. Hat's what this is about. 3 FBI vehicles pulled up, along with the Riverside Police Chief. Chief Thompson stepped out, his face red with embarrassment and anger. Director Williams, Thompson said, I cannot apologize enough. Marcus held up his hand. Chief Thompson, this isn't about apologies. This is about systemic problems in your department. Officer Hanson, how many times have you pulled over black drivers in wealthy neighborhoods in the past year? Derek said nothing. Marcus continued. Officer Chen, will you please check the records? I want to know Officer Hanson's stop statistics, broken down by race. Sarah pulled out her tablet and accessed the department database. Her eyes widened. Sir, in the past 12 months, Officer Hanson has made 127 traffic stops. 89 of them were black drivers. That's 70%. In a neighborhood that's only 8% black. The crowd murmured. Several people shouted. One woman yelled, He stopped my son 3 times last year. Marcus looked at Chief Thompson. This is what I'm talking about. This isn't about me. This is about how your officers treat everyone who looks like me. Marcus turned to the crowd. I want everyone here to know something. What happened to me tonight happens to black men every day across this country. The only difference is I have a badge that made people listen. Most people don't have that protection. He looked back at Derek. "Officer Hansen, you're suspended immediately pending investigation. Chief Thompson, I'm formally requesting that the FBI's Civil Rights Division conduct a full review of your department's practices." "You're suspending me?" Derek finally found his voice. "You can't do that. You're not my boss." "No," Marcus said calmly. "But I can charge you with violating my civil rights under federal law. I can investigate your entire career, and I can make sure every stop you've ever made is reviewed for racial profiling. Chief Thompson has the authority to suspend you. I'm betting he will." Chief Thompson nodded. "Hansen, give me your badge and gun. You're on administrative leave pending investigation." Derek's face went red, then white. He fumbled with his badge, his hands shaking. "This is because you're angry. You're using your power to get revenge." "No," Marcus interrupted. "I'm using my power to protect people who don't have power. That's what it's for. You used your power to hurt people who couldn't fight back. That's the difference." The video of Marcus's arrest went viral within 24 hours. Multiple angles from different phones showed everything: the unnecessary force, Derek's dismissive attitude, his refusal to check identification, and Marcus's calm dignity throughout. The hashtag number driving while black trended nationally. News outlets covered the story for days. The FBI released a statement. Director Williams was subjected to an unlawful stop and detention based solely on racial profiling. The FBI is conducting a comprehensive review of the Riverside Police Department. We will not tolerate law enforcement officers who abuse their power and violate civil rights. Derek Hansen was fired within a week. The investigation revealed that over his 12-year career, he had pulled over more than 500 black drivers in wealthy neighborhoods, often without legitimate cause. 17 formal complaints had been filed against him, all of them buried by the department. The deputy chief who protected Derek, he resigned before he could be fired. Marcus used this moment to launch a national initiative. Within a month, he announced the FBI would partner with police departments across America to 1. Review traffic stop data for racial disparities. 2. Provide mandatory training on implicit bias. 3. Investigate departments with patterns of discrimination. 4. Establish citizen review boards. The Riverside Police Department became a case study. The FBI's investigation found that black residents were stopped at 7 times the rate of white residents, despite committing traffic violations at the same rate. The department was forced to reform completely. Officer Sarah Chen was promoted to sergeant and put in charge of the new Community Relations Division. She had done the right thing when it mattered. Marcus gave interviews on national television. One reporter asked, "Aren't you angry about what happened?" "Of course I'm angry," Marcus said. "But anger without action is pointless. I'm using this experience to create change." That's how you turn something negative into something positive. 3 months after the incident, Marcus was invited to speak at a police academy graduation. He stood in front of 200 new officers and told his story. "When Officer Hansen pulled me over, he saw a black man in an expensive car. He didn't see an FBI director. He didn't see a father of 3. He didn't see a man who dedicated 23 years to law enforcement. He saw a stereotype. Here's what I want you all to understand. Every person you stop is someone's son or daughter, someone's parent, someone's friend. They have lives, dreams, and dignity. Your badge gives you authority, but it doesn't make you better than anyone else." Officer Hansen lost his career because he forgot that basic truth. He treated people differently based on skin color. That's not just wrong, it's un-American. We swore an oath to protect and serve everyone equally. Some of you might be thinking, "But Director Williams, you got justice because you're powerful." You're right. And that's exactly the problem. Justice shouldn't depend on who you are. It should be automatic. That's your job. That's what this badge means. The room was silent. Several officers were wiping their eyes. Marcus's story became more than just a viral moment. It became a teaching tool in law enforcement academies across the country. Schools showed the video in social studies classes to teach about civil rights and racial profiling. Most importantly, it gave courage to ordinary people who'd experienced similar treatment. Complaints of racial profiling increased, not because racism increased, but because people finally felt they'd be heard. Derek Hansen never worked in law enforcement again. He tried getting a job as a security guard, but no one would hire him. The man who thought he was untouchable learned that abusing power has consequences. Marcus continued serving as FBI director, but he never forgot that night. He kept the video on his phone as a reminder. Power can be used to hurt or to heal. He chose healing. The lesson for all of us is simple. Never assume you know someone's story based on how they look. Never use whatever power you have to hurt others. And if you see injustice, be like Officer Chen, have the courage to speak up, even when it's uncomfortable. Respect isn't about positions or titles. It's about recognizing the humanity in every person you meet. Officer Hansen forgot that. It cost him everything. If this story moved you or taught you something important, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel right now. We share real stories about justice, courage, and standing up against discrimination. Drop a comment and tell us, have you ever experienced or witnessed racial profiling? What did you do? Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss stories about people getting the justice they deserve. Thanks for watching, and remember, character is shown not in how you treat powerful people, but in how you treat everyone. See you in the next story.